like to call the roof foundation number 2 to order, please. Meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Forrest?
Present.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Present.
Mr. Joseph?
Present.
Mr. Bruno?
Here.
Mr. Ridgel?
Here.
Mr. Mayu?
Here.
Mr. Wells? Mr. Vial?
Here.
Ms. Hyde?
Here.
Ms. Coates?
Here.
Public input. Anyone wishing to address any agenda item? Hearing none, the chair will entertain a motion to the adoption of the minutes dated November 22nd, 2021.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Vial. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Here. Yeah.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno? Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu? Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes. Here in the agenda.
Motion passes, so ordered. Next agenda item, Natal Building Fire Matters.
Yes, sir.
Approval of part-time employees.
Yes, he has two, the chief had submitted paperwork. He's got two part-time employees that he'd like to ratify. All the paperwork has been submitted. It's two part-time employees at $10 per hour.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Ridgel. Roll call, please.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Motion passes. Hustle Fire Matters. Approval of pay increase.
So what the chief is wanting to do, he wants to give a year-end pay raise to 6 employees, and he wants to give a $1 per hour to all 6, bringing them to $11 per hour.
How's this form?
He should be okay.
Well, John, you want to do it?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Ingraffia, second by Mr. Bruno. Roll call, please.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes. Motion passes, and so ordered. Independence Fire Matters. Approval of part-time to full-time.
Yeah, so what the chief is trying to do here, is wanting to do here, is move 2 part-time personnel to full-time at $10 per hour.
Same question.
He's fine.
Okay, so moved.
Motion by Mr. Bruno,
Second.
second by Mr. Forrest. Roll call, please.
Mr. Ridgel?
Yes.
Mr. Mayu?
Yes.
Mr. Vial?
Yes.
Ms. Hyde?
Yes.
Ms. Coates?
Yes.
Mr. Forrest?
Yes.
Mr. Ingraffia?
Yes.
Mr. Joseph?
Yes.
Mr. Bruno?
Yes.
Motion passes, and so ordered. Brings us to monthly reports and
It
registers.
should have been emailed to y'all.
Any questions?
Yes, sir.
No questions?
Nope.
Administrative report?
Okay, what I'd like to...
Discussion of station repairs.
Yes, sir. Being that we have so many stations that have damage, we need to start looking into getting these stations repaired. The biggest one that's going to be, I think, time-consuming is the Laranja. We're going to have to remove the debris. We're going to have to build a new station. The station's totally wiped out. Speaking to Mr. Dennis James, he's made the suggestion that we can go out for quotes, but being that we can go up to $250,000 per contractor, being that it's a government building that we're repairing, it doesn't have to go through the whole bid process since it's a public building.
3 quotes, huh?
So we can do the quotes. We don't, we're not required to, but we can do the 3 quotes. I think it's a good idea to do that, to go ahead and at least get the quotes. That way we can, and then we don't want to award just any one particular contractor anything over $250,000. Then we'd have to go, it's a bid violation. So that's my recommendation, that we start looking into, and I'll work with the departments that need the repairs. I don't want them to take it upon themselves to just go out and seek somebody to get quotes. I want to be in on that process to start getting these departments back to where they need to be.
LaRonja, just for y'all that maybe haven't seen it, we had two buildings there. We had the original building, and then property insurance made us put another truck, so we had built another building. Both buildings are destroyed. So those two buildings are gonna have to be taken completely out. Dirt work's gonna have to be done, a new slab, the whole 9 yards. So it's gonna be a complete new construction.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, the building that was there before, it was a one-bay building.
Yeah.
And then we had to put in a second building that was just a little one-bay garage, that's
Yeah.
all it was.
Okay.
I'd like to see us, go back with at least a two-bay building that we can house both of those trucks for the property insurance rating that's required.
All right, Dennis, let's make this a standard agenda item until all the fire stations are complete.
Yes, sir. I know some of the departments have already made some phone calls to different contractors, and I asked them to stop doing what they were doing, so we can kind of keep this under control instead of everybody just freelancing and
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Is
And
there
if
any
the ch-
local contractors that are taking interest in wanting to build a building?
oh, yes, sir. Yes, yeah. I mean, yeah. We've used when the person ran into the Hammond station, and that's who I was going to reach out to see if he would be interested.
and Dennis, if the chiefs have somebody that does that kind of work.
Sure.
Let's make sure we get, if we got the
Absolutely.
chance of getting a local guy, let's get
But
it.
I'd
Right.
like I said, the only thing that
Right.
I'm requesting is to be involved in it, so I know what's being handled and what is not being handled.
And give
Is
us an
the
update.
insurance company gonna give us some money to demolition for those two buildings?
Yeah, look, I'll be handling that with the insurance company. I assure you that.
What do you need from us tonight?
Just give me the approval to start going out,
I so
and really
moved.
nothing, we're just gonna go out and get the quotes.
I so move to give, the administrator the authority to go out and start getting quotes on the repairs for some of these buildings.
Okay,
that are there.
motion by Mr. Bruno.
Second.
Second by Mr. VL. Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayu,
Yes.
Mr. VL,
Yes.
Ms. Hyde,
Yes.
Ms. Coates,
Yes.
Mr. Forrest,
Yes.
Mr. Graffia,
Yes.
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Ridgell.
Yes.
Motion passes. And then, as I said, if you want to talk to a particular board member, don't be shy. Give them a call, but make this a standard item up for,
Oh, absolutely. I'll let,
Okay.
the board members, whatever
Keep
departments
us
that's
appra-
affected,
okay.
I will let them know what's going on.
all right. That's it for you, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
One question.
All
I
right.
mean, we're getting these quotes that will come back, you come back to the board with those?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring them back to the
Yes.
board.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can keep us, that's what I
Yeah, I
mean.
just want to be sure.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Yeah.
yes, sir. I'll be bringing them back to the board.
Got it.
Right.
I move to accept the administrator's report.
Motion by Mr. Bruno to accept the administrative report. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Mayu. Roll call, please.
Mr. VL,
Yes.
Ms. Hyde,
Yes.
Ms. Coates,
Yes.
Mr. Forrest.
Yes.
Mr. Graffia.
Yes.
Mr. Joseph.
Yes.
Mr. Bruno.
Yes.
Mr. Ridgell.
Yes.
Mr. Mayu.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed and it's so ordered. The last item on the agenda is the election of officers. The chair will entertain nomination for the office of first, the president, second vice president, and last secretary.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion for Mr. Lewis Joseph as president.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Bruno and second by Mr. Ridgell to recommend Louis Joseph be the president of the fire district. Roll call.
Ms.
Oh, I'm
Hyde.
sorry, my mistake. Are there any more nominations for the
Move
floor?
nomination be closed.
Second.
Okay, motion by Mr. Ridgell, second by Mr. Forrest to close the nomination. Roll call.
You don't need it.
By acclamation.
That's it.
Yeah, well, thank you all for having the confidence in me. All right, y'all put me on the hot spot now. Thank you all so
My
much.
condolences.
Well, yeah, I got your condolences, huh? Well, Dennis and I do a lot of running around that you are not even aware of, I know. But we got some unfinished business. We got knocked off center stage when Ida hit us, so we lost about 3 months. I still got some things hanging out, so if I get through this year, 2022, without any interruptions, then I'll
should
be
be fine.
satisfied with this position. Thank you all again so much.
I'll make a motion for vice president, Ms. Coates.
Okay,
I'll second it.
Ms. Coates has been nominated for vice by Mr. Bruno, second by Mr. Mayu. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Let me say it 3 times. Any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor?
I move that the nomination be closed.
Motion by Mr. Bruno to close the nomination, seconded by Mr. Ridgel. Congratulations, Kim, you're elected by acclamation.
Thank you.
This is too easy. We should be in Washington DC. Get things done.
Now, I want the only job that pays. I'm making a motion for myself. Secretary.
The chair will entertain
I make a
nomination
motion
for the secretary
for Nelda
position.
for secretary.
Ms.
Fire
Nelda,
board.
okay, Nelda has been recommended by Mr. Bruno, seconded by David Villar. Roll call. No, I'm sorry, are there any other nominations from the floor? I'm not gonna do it 3 times. Any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none? Nomination closed.
Congratulations.
I move that the nomination be closed.
Second.
Actually, you really don't have to make an.
Oh, you're gonna get smart now. You didn't mind doing it when it was you, did you?
Thank you. He made the motion for that to be closed. Second by Mr. B. Thank you all so much. Now, Mr. Wells is not here. Who's gonna take the honor?
Give it to Mayu. I think Mayu needs to do it.
What's that?
Adjourn?
Mr. Wells' job.
Well, I tell you what, I say that we adjourn.
You make the motion for adjournment. By Mr. Mayor, second by Mr. Bruno.
meet for the next.
Meeting is over.